What's up, good people? It's your boy Hoom Boom back with another segment of the Hold Up Show. And hold up, is 50 Cent an agent of chaos? This is part two in the Mind of a Survivor series where we're going to be looking from a different angle. Today, I ran across a clip of a DJ Vlad interview with Irv Gotti, and it got me to thinking and having to come to a hard realization about one of my favorite rappers that if I'm thinking of this angle on others, I have to apply this to him as well, right? So let's get into the clip. Hold up.
How much do you think of that case was because 50 Cent was sort of amplifying your situation? Because I remember he was on.
Because you're Vlad, I've waited all this time to give you this. I'll give you the answer.
Okay.
But, if you talk to me about 50 in this case, I'm going to say he been talking to the police. He's been talking. And I'm not saying I think he hello? Yeah, this Curtis. I think he does that. I think he does that. He's a very unique individual because here's a guy who starts beef and pretends that he is the bully and the roughest, toughest nigga on the face of the earth. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And then he tells on you. It's like the biggest oxymoron and the biggest mind fucking trickery to the public. With, those that don't know think this guy's ill and he's tough. But when you look at it, and please, 50, if you're looking, he asked the question. I don't give a fuck about talking about you. And I know you'll make a meme. Go ahead, make a meme or some shit, right? But he's fooled the world.
Well, I mean, I
He
remember.
says we're pussy. And I'm soft and pussy. But he's the one that got shit done to him. And how we pussy. Like, when you think about that, we're pussy. You the one that got touched. But, my man says it all the time. Yeah, 50 don't want beef. He wants everyone to go to jail. Jimmy Henchman, like they roughed up his son.
Yeah.
Right. So when he takes care and does what any man would do who touches his son or whatever, and these guys is telling. Yeah, they calling and telling. They calling and telling. So, if we talk conspiracy theory, we're just talking conspiracy theories, right? But if you get shot, what's going to happen?
If I get shot,
If you get shot, what you think is going to happen?
I would go to the police.
No, what I'm saying is they're coming to you. When you're in your bed, shot the fuck up,
Mm-hmm.
I think the police and the feds came to him. And I think he told them a great story of Irv Gotti and Kenneth Supreme McGriff. And I think he's been telling them stories. I think he still tells them stories, which kind of probably makes him feel untouchable because he's with the police. So he could beef with anybody. He's with the police.
Well, I think the most interesting thing, and I'm going to leave, the other stuff is between y'all, but I think from the outside looking in, the fact that he would make fun of Ja Rule for singing, but he really made a lot of his career by singing
Engine of
and being
chaos.
melodic.
It's an engine of chaos. Certain people say, you get shot here, right? He got shot in his mouth. You like, that's inches, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is just me talking, everybody. It's not a thing, but who saved him? People be like, God. Your first thing is, God saved this guy. Maybe the devil, maybe Satan saved him. Because he's a great engine of chaos. I don't think God would save somebody who moves like that. I don't think God would save somebody who disrespects his own family and is just everything you think of 50 is just negative. He's just an engine of negativity, beef, chaos. Sounds like he's with Satan to me, man. I think, Satan was like, I'm going to use you. you're gonna be great for me. You know, Satan is the angel of music. You know the story of Satan?
Satan is the angel of music?
Satan was an angel.
Well, I know he was an angel.
He got
He was
banished.
a fallen angel.
Right. He got banished because he thought he was bigger than God. And he banished him to hell. I know about this because a segue is I have a movie with Paramount that I'm making. Thank you, Paramount and Bob Backish. And it's the story of a rapper who sells his soul to the devil to gain the heights of fame and fortune.
Are you saying the story is about 50? Okay.
No, it's not about 50 at all.
Okay, got it.
It's just a dope story.
Got it.
You know what I'm saying? Because I see parallels within the hip hop world and the hip hop community where I could associate it with the devil. Like most rappers, they have a girlfriend, ride or die. Mm-hmm. As soon as when they become big, they fucking everybody. You can easily put that that's the devil's work. You know, with hip hop, it's a lot of chaos with beefs and competition. You could put the devil associated with that. You know what I'm saying?
The son of a devil, trick 666. I'm back on my bullshit. Shit clear through my third eye. It's gonna be a murder.
The death blow? The guy who's proclaiming to be the roughest, toughest Don Dada bully? Nigga, you got beat up and poked up and you ran to the precinct and pressed charges on us. And the really death blow, you took out an order of protection. That's like shit your baby mother does and shit like that. That's women's shit. And you're saying I smell pussy?
I'm gonna ask you, how did 50's lyrics play a part in Supreme's indictment?
They used his lyrics. Police even came to 50. They was like, yo, man, just listen to the lyrics. Nigga, this is fact. They used his lyrics and everything to indict Preem. They used his lyrics. It was the lyrics that 50 was spitting. They actually used in the trial. They used 50 lyrics in the trial, man. What do you mean did it play a part in him getting indicted? You feel me? They used his lyrics in the man trial. Facts.
Eyes don't cry, my heart's so cold. Let's make a deal, nigga. Sell me your soul.
How much do you think of that case was because 50 Cent was sort of amplifying the situation?
All right. So, there's a clip. I want to thank Exposing Hollyweird, content creator. Check them out for more stuff like this. But I had to ask myself a few questions. Or I had to pose a few questions when I'm looking at this situation from a different set of eyes, or I guess as an older man not caught in the hype of the hip hop moment of it, you know what I'm saying? Because I was hip hopped out. So looking back around all that and knowing what we kind of have ideas of now about the music industry and the entertainment industry as a whole, and how it ties to government agencies and allegedly and private prisons allegedly and all that agenda, right? So we have a guy who survived being killed, or an attempted assassination, so to say, right? He lived through it. What would you expect, or what kind of reaction could a man have if you tried to unalive him? Will he go to the very extremes beyond street principles? Because there are street principles, But we all know there are not necessarily rules to the street, right? Would he go beyond his street principles in a position of vulnerability to do whatever he had to do to hurt his enemies or to eliminate his enemies? Let's just think in the mind frame of, because I've never been shot, but I can only imagine, right? If you see someone come up on you and start to fire with the intentions of unaliving you, right? Now, yes, in that situation with those individuals, they were beefing in the street, bickering, right? But it did not turn deadly at that moment, right? There was talks, there was politics going on, there were people reaching out, trying to quell the thing on both sides, allegedly, right? I don't know. This is from the outside looking in, right? Because if he was a nobody and he didn't have any power, he didn't have any alliances, which we know he did, allegedly. I don't know for sure, but I'm assuming he did, because he was very close with Black Just, right? That whoever the bigger figure was got to a point where I'm not discussing nothing with this little, this little ninja no more. I gave him enough chances to kiss the ring, so to say, right? So when the button got pushed to do this, and the attempt was made, I don't know if the other side, the alleged bigger figure, thought beyond him maybe actually surviving, right? And what that would mean and what that could cause, right? Or how far he would go to make sure that they go down now. Like, if they can't do it physically somehow, some way, they were going to jam them up another way secretly, right? So then you hear he's recovering. Well, you hear from in the clip of Bangum Smurf, someone who was very close to him and eventually got exiled from the crew of G Unit for alleged reckless behavior, and in a moment and in a time where he's building the war chest, right? He's just starting to get money. He can't have any mistakes, right? Any knuckleheads in the crew not listening, right? This is just all from the outside looking in. I don't know the situations, right? We just hear from that clip that he's saying for facts. They used his lyric. They came to the hospital and he said it's in the lyrics, right? So at that moment, in a state of vulnerability, and you just tried to kill me, almost like a similar, not almost like, but look at it like, if I can third party type of insinuate without my name being attached to anything official, I could point you in the right direction, right? Because then that'll have them having to watch out for them while giving me enough time to recover for them to now have to watch out for me. Right? So now you're getting it from two sides. A side you can't ignore, and a side that you can kind of prepare for or kind of try to foresee what angle he gonna come at you, right? From a street perspective, right? So he recovers. He becomes the hottest thing in the street. He's back. All you hear is 59 shots, looking like the Terminator, coming back ready for war, right? And the music sounded different. The voice sounded different. And the energy around it was different, right? But this is at a grassroots level. This is directly and straight energy off the street, right? He's not signed to anyone, right? He's still sort of in a state of vulnerability, right? Because in order to achieve the goal he's looking to achieve, which is to now not only be successful, but eliminate your enemy who just allegedly are tied to other people in this other industry that you're looking to take over. So in the midst of that, he signed with Eminem and Dr. Dre, right? Now, when you come to think of it, he was already signed to a record label. He was already signed to Sony, Columbia, or, you know what I mean? And if the rumors and things are true, you know, maybe he snuck through off of the backs of Tone and Poke, that maybe he didn't even get to the level that he had to give something to cross over, right? He wasn't influential enough for quote unquote alleged cabal to tap him to join, because he had little influence at the time, right? He probably had a lot of connections, a lot of street love, and he could actually rap, but he wasn't a person of influence, right? But now with this new signing, right, to these people, Eminem and Dr. Dre, now when you look at what's being alleged about those two, when you start to peel back some layers, right? They're allegedly being accused of nefarious things on certain levels, right? With Suge now speaking out about alleged things that Dr. Dre did or was involved in, right? And just the angle and agenda and things promoted through Eminem and the transformation through the years that had people questioning certain things about him as well, right? What did he do or offer to cross over to remain this legendary white rapper, right? It makes you wonder, like, okay, did he join the team when he signed with Eminem, Dr. Dre, and the overseer of that, Jimmy Iovine, right? So it made you have to look at that. It made you also see the symbolism of the images they were showing in the clip of the one eye symbolism that shows a allegiance to a certain alleged group, right? So then we have to get to the, okay, was it the feds that you said it's in the music too? While they played your music in court, isn't it to street people? Isn't that looked at as just as well as you like being on the stand? Do the feds have to get your permission to play your music in court to use it as evidence? Do you have to sign off on something like that? Or do they just go and do what they want to do? I don't know. Then you hear of this order of protection, right? And at the time of this alleged order of protection, I'm not sure if 50 signed his deal or he just signed his deal and was gearing up to go. I don't know. I think it was in the middle of his run of his mixtape. Maybe Get Rich or Die Trying had already dropped, but I'm not completely sure. I'm not completely sure. Because through the years, there's been different stories about this order of protection. The alleged baby mother said that I believe she allegedly said she took him to the police station and made him do it. I believe that they said it wasn't 50 who got any order of protection. It was the actual engineer that was in there that just got beat up in the scuffle that got the order of protection and did the suing and all that, right? Because allegedly there was some money that was paid out and it was never really confirmed whether 50 was paid for the attack or only just the engineer. Then it makes me ask, still in the midst of that angle of, I'm going to do whatever I need to do to eliminate. Focus on the word eliminate. Not hurt, not take out the game, but eliminate my enemies, that crew, all that, right? So you start planning strategic moves with by far probably the most, if not one of the top 3 most powerful men in the industry. You basically have someone that's probably over or has more power than whoever Irv and all of them or Def Jam or whoever they were answering to, right? Or you were with someone that definitely could make life difficult for whoever they answer, Irv and them answers to, right? So you're starting to put these moves into place on the entertainment side as well as the law enforcement side, right? You could have Jimmy use his connections on that side to jam up Murder Inc. with tying them to your alleged enemy, all right? While also promoting this angle in your music, demeaning them with it, like, y'all are suckers, he's controlling y'all, telling y'all what to do, he tells you to go out there, act hard on the camera, blah, 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 right? While also taking your money and whatever, right? Like, by me, I told him, get the F out of here, and he tried to kill me, and now I'm back with my foot in his neck, and you know what I'm saying? While other things are happening behind the scenes to jam them up legally, to where as though they're sort of paralyzed on the street, that they can't react and chase you down like they want, because you're very visible. You're the hottest thing on the street. You're everywhere. Get Rich or Die Trying to sell millions of copies a week. All that, right? You're rolling around in the bulletproof, bomb-proof, whatever, right? And in the same midst of that, you're getting more enemies. And in the fact that you're getting more enemies, you're using the same playbook to paralyze them as much as you can from street movement or street reactions, or that if they react in a street manner, they're already under surveillance or jammed up. Right? We all seen Belly. Rico had to drop a dime. They slowing up the block money. Now I remember I was selling weed in the projects at a time in my teenage years or whatever. And if you got to a point where you were moving a lot, the older guys, which would be a generation above you or two, you in your 16 to 18 range or whatever, and they're in the 20 to 28 range, right? And they feel their money getting a little light, because now people want to come to you, or they see you moving, or they see you keep going back to whoever to get more, right? So once you show back up, you in a fiend rental, or you just in your spot, someone would anonymously call the police. Hey, such and such out there in a blue shirt, in a blue hat, is out there flashing a gun. Or they're out there being violent. Or whatever, right? Or they're in a stolen car. And next thing you know, woo, 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 they run down regular black and whites, not no Vice, not no none of that. Regular black and whites running down on just you just chilling, you ain't thinking nothing of nothing, right? And you jammed up because you got a few bags on you for the walk-bys. You got 2 or 3, that was enough for you to get jammed up. And hope your name don't pop for nothing, because they ain't going to let you go unless they got a name or can identify you. Somebody called on you and identified you. You're the suspect. So now you got to prove who you is. They got to run your name, and you got to pray that nothing pops up. So now we're talking about a level that is way beyond my imagination. When you're talking billions of dollars, you're talking world influence, you're talking people really moving around out here on that scale. Is it far-fetched to think that somebody dropped a dime and did it anonymously? Could that be a part of the tactics that he learned from the 48 laws? To get and eliminate his enemy so they cannot come back ever? Right? So then it also had me questioning, Well, what are we hearing now? Jay-Z CEO is a former alleged informant and working closely with law enforcement and got pardoned and all that good stuff and all that, right? His other partner is his former plug that allegedly and all that. You know what I mean? And then you have Puff, and they say Diddy had alleged ties and was allegedly an informant for said 3-letter agency, allegedly, all this, right? And would drop dimes on people to move whoever he needed to move out the way or to cover up whatever nefarious activity he might have got into that got out of hand, allegedly, right? So who's to say that there aren't more with these same ties that are the top executives? So do or have these top executives and top entertainment figures anonymously drop dimes to get competition or to get someone they owe or something that was shady in the background out the way? Right? We've seen Ray Donovan. We've seen fixers. We've seen people get set up to go down so someone else could rise or be good, feel safe, not have to eliminate that issue. So then now I had to start thinking on another angle, being as though the person who was talking about him, I have to take what he's saying with some sort of grain of salt because he is the enemy of him, right? He may be giving out facts, but it's still clouded because you're an enemy. And that's probably, still part of the genius of what 50 was doing or had done strategically, right? Because he's like really the only one that was really truly vocal in a detailed manner about things that he's alleging this guy did that are outside of street principles and ethics, right? The game that he thought he was playing with him, right? But you also have to understand that there are no rules to the street. Just like there are no rules in business. You're in business to succeed, to profit, to gain, to be on the winning side. So there's no rules for them when trying to be or looking to remain on top or on the winning side. It's just the same as the streets. Don't get caught in whatever you're doing that's coloring outside the lines. And for the most part, when enough money is involved, they can pay to color outside those lines. They can nudge law enforcement how they want to some degree, right? So then there's another angle to this. There's the Vlad angle, right? Seeing this clip made me understand why you would probably never ever see 50 Cent on Vlad TV, or why he doesn't mess with him, or why he doesn't want anyone associated with him on that platform. Because Vlad is a large hip-hop platform. He cannot be controlled. You cannot control the narrative of the guests that come on Vlad. Vlad is going to promote whatever narrative the guests give him, whether you're your enemy or your friend. And he's going to blast it and promote it because that's how he makes his money, right? So that's why I feel as though he has such a huge issue with Yayo being on that platform And there was this alleged offer that he would give him money to start his own platform if he just stopped going on that platform, because Vlad will talk to my enemies and my friends and try to divulge information I don't want public, or paint a narrative that I cannot control, or that I'll have to start expending energy flexing on people that go on this platform that I don't agree with. So yeah, do you believe in that state of vulnerability that he made a decision to go to the exact extremes to eliminate his enemies? And in the midst of going that route, he joined them folks. And in the midst of joining them folks, you have to promote those folks' agendas and things, and maybe even have to control a sector of something. Because if you remember, when the headphones thing went down with that made him and Jimmy allegedly separate, Jimmy Iovine allegedly separate, Jimmy is the one who told him, go to TV, right? That could have been an order. I have killed you, unalived you in music. You're done. I'm sending you to television. And you will have to follow orders from there, right? So then, where the agent of chaos angle comes in is now look at these situations of people that he's had run-ins with since Murder Inc. and the other individuals that were involved, right? Then you get to the alleged Jimmy Henchman situation, and he could have allegedly very well sent someone to smack up the kid that will get the reaction that they are looking for, because he had enough business cachet and street cachet just like them, right? To know how to navigate and move around. But an action like this would make him, his reaction more, more of what he's looking to jam him up in as far as on a street level with the law enforcement. Because the only thing that he really has moving around, that was moving around at that time in the other industry was, I believe it was game. And he might have had a few other things going on, but I think his most visible artist and piece of business and entertainment was the game. So he looked at it as, if I can allegedly get this guy off the street, that will kill whatever voice and power or access and ability to move around that the game would have, that would silence that side. So then it turned into another angle of things, like he went after like he's going after Jimmy right now, and 42 Doug for supporting a now enemy, Joe Budden, because Joe Budden might have been on the other side a long time ago that we didn't know about, you know? And like he said, like right now, he is an image sort of negativity. Like he had worked hard to change his image to be a business mogul executive status, but he is still very connected to the soil. He will still pull up on you and possibly punch you in your face, like, and that's what makes him so dangerous and deadly, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I just want to know what you guys think. Can you see him being as an agent of chaos of some sorts, and that he, in his choice to respond to opposition and adversity or enemies, that once he survived getting shot, that was like that once you push the button with him, that's the only button you could push, is the extreme button, and in the midst of that, it got him entangled in some things that are even on a larger scale that he may have to answer for, or you know what I mean? Because I'm a part of the Q movement, man. You know, they are, you know, we have yet to reveal who are the good guys that are playing double agents, right? And he could very well be a good guy playing a double agent and was in there doing the least to provide information to the white hats on things that are outside of his principles that he probably would never agree with, right? Or never would be down with, right? Or is one of our favorites exactly what we call the others, what we call the Jay-Z's, what we call the Diddy's allegedly, what we call the Dr. Dre's and the Snoop Dogg's and the Eminem's allegedly, right? But we all think that they're somehow, some way, you know, involved with them people just through the sheer symbolism and things that we've learned or heard throughout the years of what you have to do to obtain a certain level of millionaire status, right? So I want to know your thoughts. It's your boy Hoon Boon. Like, share, subscribe, comment, help the channel grow. Did you get something out of this? Do you see the angle? Or is this just crazy talk from an enemy? Take it with a grain of salt, right? It's your boy Hoon Boon. Another segment of the Hold Up Show. Peace.